Every 40 seconds, someone on this planet has a heart attack. At some point today, you probably felt something and decided it was nothing. A tightness in the chest you blamed on stress. A heaviness in the arm you blamed on how you slept. An exhaustion that has been sitting in your body for days that you blamed on your schedule. Maybe it was nothing, probably it was nothing, but there is a specific combination of sensations, 5 of them, that your heart produces in the days and weeks before a major cardiac event. They are not dramatic. They do not feel like emergencies. They feel exactly like the things you are already explaining away. This video is about those 5 things. Watch it, then decide if it was nothing. Warning sign number 1, a pressure in your chest that comes and goes, and you keep blaming dinner. Not a stabbing pain. Not the movie version where someone clutches their chest and drops. This feels like someone placed a heavy book on the center of your sternum and left it there. A squeezing, a fullness, a tightness you cannot name. It lasts 3 minutes, maybe 5. Then it fades. So you take an antacid and move on. Here is what just happened inside your body. One of your coronary arteries, the vessels that feed blood directly to your heart muscle, has a plaque on its inner wall that has been quietly building for years. That plaque is now unstable. Blood flow to a section of heart muscle is dropping. That muscle is not getting enough oxygen, and it is sending a distress signal up through your nervous system. The reason it feels like pressure instead of sharp pain is wiring. The heart shares nerve pathways with a wide band of the upper body. The brain cannot pinpoint where the signal is coming from, so it reads it as vague central heaviness rather than a precise stab. Cardiologists call this ischemic pain, pain from lack of blood, and the texture is almost always pressure, squeezing, or tightness. Never a cut, never a burn. The pattern is what matters. It comes, it lasts a few minutes, it eases when you rest, then it comes back tomorrow or the day after. Each time it fades, you feel relieved. Each time it comes back, it means the plaque is more unstable than the last time. Cardiologists have a name for this stage, unstable angina. It sits one step below a full heart attack on the same staircase. And most people walk past this warning 3 or 4 times before the staircase runs out. Warning sign number 2. Your jaw aches. Your arm feels heavy. Your upper back is tight. And your chest feels completely fine. This one sends people to the dentist, to the physio, to the chiropractor, never to a cardiologist. The reason this happens is pure wiring. The nerve fibers carrying pain signals from the heart enter the spinal cord at the exact same level as nerves from the jaw, the left arm, the neck, and the upper back. The brain, which has spent your entire life mapping pain from those familiar locations, misreads the signal. It projects the heart's distress onto the arm, the jaw, the shoulder, anywhere except where it is actually coming from. There is one test you can do right now with no equipment. Press on the area that hurts, move it, rotate the shoulder, open and close the jaw. If the pain is coming from a muscle or joint, pressing or moving it will change it, reproduce it, sharpen it, shift it. Heart-referred pain does not move when you do that. You can press on the arm all you want. The ache does not respond because it is not in the arm. It is coming from somewhere that has nothing to do with where you are pressing. If you have ever had an unexplained jaw ache, a left arm heaviness, or a pressure between the shoulder blades that came and went without any physical trigger and did not change when you moved, write that down. That detail matters more than you think. Warning sign. Number 3. You get winded doing things that never winded you before. One flight of stairs, walking to the car, standing up too fast, and suddenly you cannot get a full breath in. It passes after a minute. You blame age, fitness, a bad night of sleep. What is actually happening when a section of heart muscle is not getting enough blood, it stops contracting as efficiently as it should. The heart becomes a weaker pump. Blood backs up slightly into the pulmonary circulation, the vessels connecting the heart and lungs. That backup raises pressure inside the lungs and makes them feel stiff. Breathing costs more effort. The sensation is shortness of breath, not because anything is wrong with your lungs, but because your heart is not doing its job properly in that moment. This is the warning sign most likely to be missed entirely, because in women, in older adults, and in people with diabetes, it is often the only warning sign. No chest pressure, no arm pain, just new, unexplained breathlessness that comes and goes. Studies show that in these groups, the time between first symptoms and hospital arrival is dramatically longer. Not because the warning was quieter, because it did not look like the warning they were expecting. New breathlessness, no explanation, coming and going. That is urgent, not eventually. Now, warning sign number 4. You break into a cold sweat for no reason. Your stomach turns, and somewhere underneath it all, a feeling you cannot explain, that something is very wrong. No bad food, no heat, no exertion, just cold, clammy skin, nausea, light-headedness, and a wave of dread that seems to come from nowhere. The sweat and the nausea are your autonomic nervous system, the network controlling everything involuntary, responding to a heart that is signaling emergency. The stress hormones flooding your body are not a malfunction. They are an accurate read of what is happening. The dread has a name in the cardiology literature: angor animi, Latin for anguish of the soul. Doctors document it because patients report it consistently before severe cardiac events. It is not a panic attack. In a panic attack, the fear is about something, a place, a situation, a thought. Angor animi has no object. The certainty that something is catastrophically wrong appears from nowhere because the nervous system is registering something catastrophically wrong. It is not in your head, it is in your chest wall. Cold sweat plus any chest discomfort or arm pain, that combination means one thing. Call emergency services, not after dinner. Not if it does not get better by morning, right now. Warning sign. Number 5. You are exhausted in a way that sleep does not fix, and it has been going on for days. This is the warning that gets dismissed more than any other because it sounds the least dramatic, but it may be the most important one on this list. In the days and weeks before a heart attack, a large proportion of patients, particularly women, describe an exhaustion unlike anything they have felt before. Not tiredness, a heaviness that is there before they get out of bed. That makes ordinary tasks feel enormous. That rest does not touch. A landmark study in the journal Circulation asked women who had survived heart attacks what they remembered from the weeks before. More than 70% named unusual fatigue as their single most prominent symptom. Not chest pain, not breathlessness, fatigue, and almost all of them had explained it away. The reason is physiological: a heart under chronic ischemic stress, where blood flow is dropping intermittently but not yet fully blocked, is working enormously hard to compensate. Inflammatory processes are running. Stress hormones are elevated. The metabolic cost of a struggling heart spreads through the entire body as systemic exhaustion. Fatigue alone is not a diagnosis, but fatigue that appeared from nowhere, that rest does not fix, paired with any single one of the other 4 warnings. That is not something to explain away. That is a reason to be seen today. What destroys your arteries? Here is the myth worth destroying right now. My cholesterol is normal, so I am safe. Heart attack risk is not just about what is floating in your blood. It is about the condition of the endothelium, the microscopically thin lining on the inside of every coronary artery. Think of it as the non-stick coating on a pan. While it is intact, cholesterol and platelets slide past. The moment it is scratched and damaged, everything starts sticking. And from that sticking, plaques form. And from those plaques, ruptures happen. And from those ruptures, heart attacks follow. 3 things destroy the endothelium faster than almost anything else. Chronically elevated blood sugar, even the mild pre-diabetic range, where most people have no idea anything is wrong, damages vessel lining cells quietly for years before any official diagnosis arrives. Smoking. Every cigarette delivers a direct chemical assault on the inner lining of your arteries while simultaneously making your blood thicker and stickier. The combination of a damaged wall and adhesive blood is the textbook setup for a coronary clot. And chronic unrelenting stress, the kind that never fully switches off, drives continuous cortisol and adrenaline elevation, promotes inflammation, raises blood pressure, and makes platelets clump more easily. This is not soft medicine. This is biochemistry. High blood pressure adds to all of it by physically hammering the vessel wall from the inside year after year, accelerating every stage of this process. A significant proportion of people who have a major heart attack had at least one of these warning episodes beforehand and did not act on it. That is not a statistic about other people. That is a window that was open and closed unused. If anything in this video sounded familiar, do 3 things. Write it down. When it happened, what it felt like, how long it lasted, what made it better. Do not trust your memory with this. Write it down. Bring that list to a doctor and ask directly. Should I be evaluated for unstable angina? 3 tests are worth asking about by name. A stress ECG, which can reveal whether your heart muscle is struggling under demand in ways a resting ECG will completely miss. A high-sensitivity troponin blood test, which detects whether heart muscle cells are already being silently damaged between episodes. And an HbA1c, your 3-month blood sugar average, which catches prediabetes, one of the most powerful and most overlooked accelerators of coronary artery disease, long before a standard fasting glucose test would flag anything. Do not self-medicate. Do not start aspirin or any blood thinner on your own based on advice from a friend or something you read online. There are different types of cardiac events, and the wrong intervention at the wrong time can make things significantly worse. Let a medical team look at the imaging first. Heart attack is not a bolt from a clear sky. It is a predictable endpoint that announces itself. You now know the 5 announcements. Chest pressure that comes and goes. Pain spreading to the arm, jaw, neck, or back. Unexplained new breathlessness. Cold sweating and a sense of dread with no cause. And unusual, overwhelming fatigue in the days before. Any one of these appearing for the first time, even if it vanishes in 3 minutes, is a reason to act, not a reason to wait and see. On prevention, blood sugar in range, blood pressure managed, smoking stopped. Chronic stress treated as the cardiovascular risk factor it actually is. These are not suggestions for a healthier lifestyle. They are the difference between a plaque that stays stable and one that ruptures. Do not wait for symptoms to go away and assume you escaped. You did not escape. You were warned. Use it. Now subscribe for more educating videos with body science.